part, kind of we sing with these. It's called tin can rattle. The milk can. They've been singing with these maybe for the past 100 years. But the original technology was this. The word for this rattle is akhnaf, and the songs talk about this specific kind of rattle. Yes. So I'll sing. I'll sing about what I mentioned earlier about these speeches that were given in an important time to kind of direct people and let people know what's going on. The word for that I know it is chukwar or chukwar, but it kind of describes that somebody there talking, guiding people, I guess. So there's hundreds of these songs. There's a couple hundred, and we sing them approximately that length. And it takes all night to sing all of them, or most of them. So you have to dedicate a big chunk of your brain space to remembering this stuff. And like Raul said, it has to come. How I know it and understand it, it has to come from in here in your mind. Otherwise, they say it's really not meant for you. But there's the songs, the order, the stories, the language. It's all this bunch of things that you have to remember and be able to recall. It's different. It's interesting. But I'm going to sing a little bit about what he said earlier. He talked about kind of copying, and that is the truth. You're copying people that you learn from. You have to do that in order to understand and to learn and keep this stuff going. But the word I know is chunyu in the language. Chunyu means you're copying. One of the speaker told me that when you say copy, it sounds bad in English, but in our sense, it's different. In Indian way, it's different. It's emulating. It's a different way of putting it. But that's what it's saying. You're copying them, copying what was done before. But I'll sing that song. ya puyu piaci cimpawa, amatundu, amatundu pawa, amatundu, amatundu pawa, amatundu, amatundu pawa, amatundu, amatundu pawa, I guess a big message or something that's trying to be conveyed is that we have a real connection with this area, this territory, this land. It goes back thousands and thousands of years, and our people had an understanding, and that understanding was conveyed to us through these songs, and these songs try to affirm that, reaffirm that. This is your land. This is your territory, and these people knew about it. So this is what this next song is going to kind of talk about. Mud, mud, land, earth, mud, all of it. Chunyu, they know, or no, I mean, Chuyao, they know. That's what it's talking about. Songs talk about a lot of different things. One is kind of refers to some constellations, and all the songs, different styles of songs. They refer to constellations and stars. They were very important for us. It taught us how to tell time and to understand our environment. So there's a good portion of our songs that this particular style of song that refers to different constellations that are out there. One is I guess they call it Seer. Seer, I guess it's a buzzard constellation in our way. So he's talking about that. Kutas Quanam, we are it, I will eat, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was, and I know you. We are it, but there are was. Yo. All right, that's it. I'll get it right.
When my teacher taught me these songs, he would tell me the story of each one of the songs, and it would all go together in a big story. Talked about the history of the land here, things that happened, and some songs were old ancient songs. Talk about something that happened historically, long time ago, and then others were more contemporary. So, and some of the songs talk about battles that took place. Some talk about movement. There used to be a great lake out in Imperial County, and there's songs that talk about that lake drying up, and the birds and the animals leaving and the people leaving. And then there's some songs that tell stories about things that happen when animals fall in love. Because sometimes we fall in love too. We have kids here, so I'm not going to say those stories. Keep it clean. But there was this one story I remember my teacher told me. It happened, there was a group of people that wanted to come and fight with the Kumeyaay. They were coming from the desert. And there were medicine men who could feel them coming. And our people got ready. And they got to the bottom, the base of the mountains, and they sent a runner up to tell the Kumeyaay to come down and fight them. The Kumeyaay sent them down with a message saying, "You came all the way to our territory, you come up and fight with us." And if any of you know some of the people from out in the desert, Quezon, Mojave, Cocopah, they talk about how the Kumeyaay, how can we do it? I said, what do you mean? He said, when they go walking, it's all flat. With Kumeyaay, where we live up in the mountains, so we're either going up or down. So they're not used to that. So they came, and they weren't used to that fight. And our people, we won. So, and there's a set of songs that goes with that. The other song I wanted to sing, I'll just keep it short, is This was more of a contemporary song. And they talked about, how many of you ever been in love? Anybody? A couple of you? Well, the song talks about this young man. He was in love with this young lady. I mean, just he couldn't think of anything else. He had to go see her. Rather than Vanessa, you know, take off the sandals and go visit her. You know, had to go see her. And he had a horse, but he would have to go through enemy territory. And the enemy would watch him on that horse, and they wanted that horse. So one day they got ready, and he was coming through again. He had to go to spend time with him. So they ambushed him because they wanted that horse. They ended up killing him, but the horse got away. And the woman, that young girl, she could hear the horse coming up. And the horse came. There was nobody on that horse. So she never got married. She said she would always wait for him. That's one of those kind of stories. I know you always said it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have my boys come up. I'll sing one song and then we'll sing one where we dance. And my daughter's here. She's Little Miss Kumiai this year. We have a Miss Kumiai, Little Miss Kumiai. It was created, I don't know, almost 20 years ago, 20 some odd years ago, I guess now. And it was to be ambassador to for our people, to continue to tell the greater San Diego and the Southwest region that you Kumiai are still here. My dad's still here too, but right here. Anyways, my dad here, my boys, there's more of us in our family, there's more of us in our people to sing these songs, and when we go places, you'll hear different song cycles like that, whether it's sad or happy times. Sometimes we'll even sing couples at the same time. The song I'm going to sing, someone would ask, like, can you sing an old song or an old story, and with this song cycle, we start in the evening time, and we sing about the sun going down. And for us, that's actually talking about the creation for us as humans. And so we don't generally dance to those songs because when we talk about the creation of things, we weren't walking this earth, we were new to it. So we sing those songs out of respect. We sing the sun down, and we talk about how we were created. We talk about the constellations, our heaven, the cosmos, how they were created. We talk about all of these things that predate humanity. And then we start talking about the people coming and how they did go around these different areas. Depending on the singer, most singers will sing the beginning the exact same, and then they'll sing the end the exact same. But the order in the middle, depending on the singer, they'll sing a little different, depending on what they're singing for, depending on who they're singing for. They'll sing the little stories in between a little bit different. Some stories they'll talk a lot about it, some they'll not even not say anything. It might be 30, 40 songs, they just don't sing, they skip on, depending on who what you're singing about. Generally, when we sing our songs, we try to sing a little bit of each, the whole session, try to pay respect to the whole story. But when we're going to really share these songs, we will sit there and sing for a long period of time. There was a time when our people were created, and they needed the Creator. They went down and they asked the Creator for help. They had to go out. If you go out to You got to where the Mexican-American border is now? It's all Kumeyaay land to us, but you guys put a weird border in there somewhere. It's all our land. But if you go stand out there, you look out in the water, you'll see islands out there. You guys call them islands, we call them mountains. They're in our creation story. We'll walk out there. Now go check your geology, go check your timeline or whatever. Look at the last epic, they talk about the ice ages and the movement of the water, high and low. When we say we walked out there, that'll tell you right there roughly when these events took place, how long ago, 1,000 years ago, this happened. I'm talking multiple, thousands of years ago. And in that story, people walked out there, and they came back. Later on in the story, they walked there, but the water was now there. Couldn't walk back out to that same spot. Talking long periods of time. In that time period, they had to do a ceremony. And with our ceremonies, we start at night, and we sing all through the night, because our heaven is always watching us, the Milky Way, where our souls, the gentleman greeted me walking and said, Helka, that fire that's inside of us, that our Creator breathed into us, the remainder went up to create the stars. Long ago, when people would come travel village to village, you wouldn't say, hey, go start a fire, and instead of go like that, you wouldn't, you would offer them fire. And he'd give you a little bit of fire. And he'd give you some warmth, some food, and give you somewhere to sleep as a nice gesture. Well, we did that to the Spanish, and all those people died from disease, but still they put that gesture forward. We say Helka wasn't just meant, hey, how you doing? It was, I'm giving some of myself to you. The fire that burns inside of me, that the goodness that I am, that the Creator gave us, I'm going to extend that to you in a good way, and in a very physical way. I'm going to give you some fire, some food. My cousin Jamie always says, come to my land and we'll feed you. So I always ask him, where's the food? But that's that time period we're talking about. We learn these things. Through ceremony, we remember that at night, all of those stories. At that time, we had a ceremony, and one of the teachers, the coyote, comes in, and they didn't want him there because they knew that what he was doing wasn't right. And he had bad intentions, so they shoot him away. And he did. He took off, and he came back. Said, well, there's nothing over there. He told me to go that way. And he said, well, oh man, my bad. You know what? I think it's actually that way. Coyote left, came back again. And they did that a number of times until the early morning. Coyote finally came back, and realized it was on to the people, hey, but it was too late because our ceremony was already ending. The sun was coming up. Coyotes, they can't see good in the morning. They can't see good in the day when the sun's shining. And the last direction we sent him was out that way. He's going to go out to the sun and look and get all disoriented. And that happens to us, by the way. You stay up all night and get about 6, 7 in the morning, maybe a little earlier, you start getting goofy. But we keep our minds straight and strong. Again, if you think you know something, we're reciting all night. Early morning, see how good you're reciting. You'll start to go, man, I'm getting tired. So it speaks again to our discipline that we have in doing this. The songs I'll sing one of our songs talking about the sun going over. It's really talking about the creation of the sun, and how the sun was put out, and the creation of, I guess you could say, the cosmos. Again, it's a time before us. And then I'll sing, and we sing this song usually in the evening, getting to the nighttime. There's a whole a part of our cycle that if you start to sing it when the sun gets to a certain spot, when you're done singing all of the songs, it's dark. It's dark outside. And we describe that scenery, the sky looking like the ocean. It looks like the stars, like a mirror. We talked about that. And we didn't have watches back then. We didn't need them. We sang. And so we would signify to the people, hey, it's nighttime. It's more of a holy time, a sacred time. We should be with families, and you can see the stars, you can see our heaven. They're looking down on us. We should be, behaving ourselves. The ceremony is in action. So we sing that song, and we acknowledge that the coyote is going to come. The nighttime is coming. It's going to come. And then later on, in the middle of the night, we'll sing again about the coyote coming. And we talk about how some of the elements of nature, certain birds come and tell us, hey, someone's coming. A nighthawk comes, an owl comes. Different animals come and tell the people it's coming. Who's coming back down the trail. Be careful, or watch out. And then finally the people see it and they get upset. Oh man, well, they get upset, but what are you going to do about it? And what we've always been told is that what you do is you come together. We come together as a people, and we rally as a people together. And that's what Dan was saying. This is the people song. It's about people. It's not about us. We dedicate a little bit to ourselves. And so we sing about that. It comes. And then the coyote leaves again. And then later on in the night, we can be telling all these other stories through song, but we'll acknowledge it again. Coyote coming. And then in the early morning, we'll acknowledge again the coyote is coming. But now the coyote's sad. But so are the people. Because in that creation story, they had this whole ceremony. And now the person's leaving, the spirit's leaving, and that's sad. All the ancestors that have come and empowered us to get to tonight, to be there with that person and those families, they are also leaving because the sun's coming, the ceremony's ending. And so we say, all of these series of animals are upset. We as humans, we are upset. We're crying. And then it's all acknowledged through a little bird that comes out. And the bird starts chirping and crying and singing. And so there's a song that comes right after, a little bit after that. And it's saying that bird singing, do you hear it? And saying, but why? Why is it crying? Why is it crying? Why is it crying? You know? And the answer is, you know, I guess, is that it's a new day. It's sad, but you know, there's brightness. There's warmth. So it gets cold really early in the morning, but then you withstand that, it starts to warm up. You get really, really tired when the sun comes up. You can keep going. You don't get so tired. You might be really tired at 5 and 6 in the morning because you've been up all night. But 10 in the morning, you're all right. You can't really think sometimes 3, 4 in the morning. It's really, but you know, 9, 10, you get towards the end, you can think fine. You know, you just have to get there. So that's life lessons. And that's what, so I'll sing some of these songs that talk about that. That's a little minuscule of these songs, you know. Any one of those songs you talk a long time about. But to give you an understanding, I guess. So I'll sing one that we won't dance to, and then, you know, I think we've all sung Bird Up Here. It's kind of like the go-to song, you know. And so I'll do my best not to hack it. You've been talking too much like I am tonight. I'd like to give a shout out to my sponsor, Starbucks. Give you the energy to really talk. But you do kind of. And so I'll sing one that we're not going to dance to, and then we'll get up and dance. And like I said, my daughter will come up and lead the dance. Anybody wants to come up that knows how to do it or whatever feels comfortable, you're welcome to. We'll kind of end tonight with that. And then you'll see when we're done, we're going to, we'll shake hands. And again, that's the point of all this, you know, to respect that we give to each other. Stan, very busy man. He traveled down here to speak tonight. You know, I can't speak highly about him for doing something like that. He could be home relaxing. Dan has a family, has kids. He brought his wife and his father-in-law here. His father-in-law is also a longtime singer. They could be doing something else. But we do this for the people. We want to make sure people understand that we are human. We're not primates. You know, but that's what's always been discussed at us, that we are primitive. We are a primate nature. Well, if we're primates, so are all you. You know, we're just all humans, you know. I would argue that we are civilized, and so are our songs, and I guess that would be the evidence. I don't know that we need to prove. It's really a foreign concept that we have to prove that we're people. But anyways, hope you enjoy a little bit. Really talking to Wayne. All right.
Oh
One thing about these songs is that it was really repressed amongst our people for a long time. So the one time you did hear it, a lot of times for our people was at funerals, sad times. You see my boy dancing, see him on my shirt dancing. You know, when I was a kid, I sang a lot of these songs at home. We went to gatherings, and there wasn't a lot back then, though. A couple powwows here and there. Came down to the museum, sang here and there. Go to wakes, I wouldn't sing these songs, sit there and listen, because I wasn't for a little kid. Again, it goes back to our old stories. So at funerals, there's a way you dance to these. There's a way these songs are sung, a little bit more low key. They're not to be just out kind of acting crazy. Guard yourself as a human being, you guard your songs, you're guarding the community, that family. And so our people would dance together as a community, there and back, the women, the men. It's kind of hard to hear, but there and back. That's how it was when I was a kid. All the old guys are out there dancing the best they could. You know, they're older. But now you're seeing these songs in a lot of young people's, coming through learning. It's in their hands now. And for a young kid, that's what they want to do. They want to get out there and enjoy it and dance and have a good time. And they're singing at these gatherings now. We have gatherings where we're able to sing these songs in a happy time. And so they'll get out and dance. I say, good, get out there and dance. That's what I do, My dad would do that when I was a kid, when it was a happy time. And so when we started traveling around, my son would always wear a cowboy hat because my dad couldn't make it. At least he was there. As Dan said earlier, that was in our lineage. So he's dancing for his grandpa. And he would dance like that. Our brother tribe in the north, the Kauias, sing a song. They sing these songs a little bit like how we sing them, but their understandings are different. They have a different rhythm and dance. But the men all dance like that. But for them, they never use these songs for the sad time. They've only used them for the happy time. So you see them dancing as happy people would dance. For us, we do both. So when it's happy time, we get out there, we have a good time like that. But when it's sad, you won't see that. We just line up and we go there and back. There's been people who have, for almost their whole life, that's all they've ever seen, because they think back to all the time they've seen these songs. It was maybe one or two old people in the corner singing them, or it was at a funeral, which is very sad. So we don't live in those times no more. We've come a long way, and it's good. But I never like to forget that time period. So I tell the kids, go out there, have a good time. But don't close your ears off while you're dancing. You want to hear the song. You want to hear it. You want to be able to sing them. So we'll sing a couple more. The next song, again, will be about the same subject matter, but it's in the morning, so we probably won't go out and dance. But you know, but again, it's what I was telling you about that teacher coming in throughout the night, and in the early morning they'll sing it. And I hope that if I do right by it, you guys will hear a little bit of the in the voice. You'll hear, you know, kind of like a, hey, this happened, and then you'll hear, right now you just heard kind of like an excitement in the middle of the night. But now you'll hear it a little bit sadder. It's early morning. You should hear that emotion. And it's kind of hard to convey here, but when you sing them all night, you can hear the emotion. It's in the speed of the songs. All these songs aren't the same speed. Some go fast, some go slow, depending on what part of the story you're telling and why you're telling it. And then after that, we'll sing When We All Get Down to, which talks about the morning time. The morning's here, and that's a good time. The morning, literally, or it could be the morning meaning a new dawn. I like to sing it because I have a young group, and I like to remind people, like, hey, this is a new day. These kids are the ones that are going to take it forward, not me. I'm young, but I'm you know, I'm getting old. Like, these guys are the ones, them and all their crew. There's a whole crew of them. Most of them are from San Isabel, some from Viejas. My dad's from Ilclanan, which is San Isabel. It's the mountains, Kumeyaay territory. I'm from, where my mom's from, Viejas. Matquatanun was where her old people live, the valley behind there. And that's Viejas. That was my wife's from San Isabel, so we have family throughout the nation. This is all Kumeyaay territory, though.
Why
So like the song before was saying, why is that coyote crying? It's literally what it's saying, but there's a whole story. It takes an hour to tell the whole part of that story. But you hear the emotion a little bit different. You sing it all night, you know, your voice is kind of lower at that moment anyways. Your energy's low, but then it comes off, the songs after that, you hear that last one real fast, pitch, everything comes up. I was asking about that morning bird, you know, why is that morning bird crying? But it's fast, picking it up, we're picking it up as a people. Get together, it's hard. Times get hard, you don't quit, you don't go cry around, you get it done. You come together and you get it done. And that's what that song tells us. You know, there's a lot of philosophy in that. People wonder, how is it that we're still here as Kumeyaay? Well, that's why. Things get hard for us. Well, we're resilient people. You know, we're dynamic people. So the idea of us being museum pieces or being a piece of a rock, you know, we're more like water. We're fluid. We're dynamic. We're willing to change. We'll put a shirt on, but it's going to be a Kumeyaay shirt. Okay? That's what we're going to do, and that's what I just did, right? The next song talks about that morning time. You know, it's a happy time. You know, the time's here, the sun's out. Even when it's sad, a lot of times it can be a happy time. You're at ease, you're at peace. We talk, you know, in our psychology, we have the understanding of loss. We deal with it. I'm a high school teacher. This year, sadly, we had 2 students pass on. Very sad. Students of mine, really good kids. My school was devastated as such. There's a kid right now, I think, fighting for his life. And he's from our school, so you know, when I get back from spring break, it's not going to be as happy, I don't think. Same time, I can go to families in our nation who have lost 2 or 3 kids. It's almost it would be uncommon for someone to say I've never been to a funeral. They're from our people because we take care of each other's families. I don't know how many hundreds of funerals I've been to. We don't count those things. Disrespectful. My kids have been to hundreds of funerals. Okay, so we sing these things at a lot of happy times. We sing at a lot of sad times. So that grieving process, that process of loss, it's built into our culture. So when we talk about, you know, the understanding of loss, you know, that moment you have to let go and all that stuff, disbelief of it. What's going on? I don't understand it. The anger that comes from it, the sadness, finally let it go. These are things that are built into these songs. And you hear it through the stage. I can't believe the coyote came. He's here. Well, send him off. And you hear him at midnight, he comes again. And he comes together and you just want to do something, but you're still not at ease with it. And in the morning, we're upset about it. But ultimately, when we sing those morning songs, it's happy time. You hear the beat. We're at ease with what we have to do. Whether it's happy or sad, you know, you just have to let it go. It is what it is. We move on. And as our people have shown, we move on together as a people, as best we can. And that's life lessons, man. That's those lessons. I'm still learning as a young man, but I see it, you know, it's like, man. So very philosophical, very, very philosophical, all of these songs. To me, I think about, I can apply any one of these songs to something that's happening in my life, or how something's happening in my kid's life, or we're having as a people. There's times I've sang these songs, I've literally cried. And I don't cry just because, I don't know, I'm not an emotional person. I like to laugh, I guess. But I have because you feel it. There's times you can be really kind of upset. You sing these songs, man, you feel good. Just like, hey, I don't care. I feel good. Sometimes I've been sick. One time I dislocated my shoulder, my right shoulder. And I had to try to play my board. So I played my left. And long story short, when I was singing, I felt good. I feel good. There are old people say, oh man, I was hurting, but they sing, they feel good in that moment. And then you go home and hurt for a week. Or my mom says, she said, well, you know, I might be hurt for a week, but she'll dance like this all night long. Anyways, I hope you guys got a little bit out of it tonight. I'm going to sing one more song. You guys will probably dance, do their thing. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is kind of what we always end with, since like I got the kids. I